let's dive into this video. All right, FYI, I'm not going to be sitting up straight. I'm going to be lying down right here because I don't got a chair, okay? My back hurts just sitting cross-legged for 20 plus minutes, sometimes more, editing videos and stuff like that. So let's get into the video.
And I'm JP.
And we're sharing our unconventional life with you from Ecuador.
And today we're going to tell you the 5 reasons why we left the United States and why you might want to consider leaving too.
If you're new to our channel,
Make the
we've been
camera
living in
smaller.
Ecuador for almost 3 years. If you're thinking of visiting or moving here, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell, please.
Because we show what it's like to live in Ecuador. And today we are in El Parque de Oloncito, which is a cute little park just south of the main comuna of Olón.
The first reason we left the United States was due to healthcare.
Fuck, she's actually beautiful. I mean, for a MILF, she's beautiful. She looks like a mom.
JP had to have 2 major spine surgeries. The first one he had was on his neck, and then I think it was 3 or 4 months later, he had a major spine surgery on his lower back. He had a 5-level fusion in his lower back.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that's massive. That's a big injury. That's a very big injury. And with healthcare in the United States of America, you should definitely expect that to cost as much as a house mortgage.
Both of those surgeries required JP to learn how to walk again. It was a tough year in the Bastone Street household.
Damn.
That's Bastone Street. And he had been in the hospital for 8 days, you guys. It was just an incredible...
Oh no, when I was 5 years of age, I went to the hospital. It was $21,000. And that was for a day and a half of me being in a hospital. So that, you could imagine, easily 6 figures, easily.
Ordeal, and one we hope we never have to go through ever again.
Yeah, it was a really tough experience learning how to walk again in my 40s. Never thought I'd have to do that. And I couldn't drive either. Amelia had to quit her high-paying regional sales job and take a local job at quite a bit of a pay cut so that she could be there to take care of me because I was pretty helpless for a long time while I learned how to walk and drive again. And even though all of that really sucked, perhaps the worst part was that those surgeries cost almost $1 million. $1 million! It's ridiculous. And
Hey everybody, who wants to be a millionaire, just like the TV show? $1 million. Did you hear that? $1 million. Let's go back. I want to show you.
the worst part was that those surgeries cost almost $1 million.
$1 million.
$1 million.
$1 million.
It's ridiculous. And so that's one of the reasons why we just had to leave the United States, is because if I need another surgery.
And I bet they left because of the medical debt. I bet they were going to take the house. I bet they were going to, because here's the thing, you don't pay your debts on time. Oh, you got some collateral, you got some equity, we're going to come after that. We're going to get an attorney. And that's what happens. Don't you think you're out of the woodwork? This is America, boys. Land of the free, land of the debtors in prison. Literally. People are actually going to prison for debt in this country today. For real, if they don't pay for a loan that they signed on, they're going to prison. You don't pay a bail bondsman for getting falsely accused and arrested by a police officer, you're going to prison. Literally.
We wouldn't be able to afford it, and we'd be bankrupt in our 40s and 50s. Because after that, the insurance company canceled my insurance, and my new plan was going to be $1,200 per month. And with the...
You hear that, boys? $1,200 a month. City boys, we low. We are low, city boys. $1,200 a month. That's how much healthcare is. Like I said, get your passport. Learn a second language. J'ai appris un deuxième langue de mon mère. I learned a second language from my mother. Et aussi français. That means it is also French. I'm telling you, learn a second language. Learn a second language, get a passport, get out of this country.
Really high deductible and a copay out of pocket for everything, and we couldn't afford it. So that's probably the main reason why we left the United States and why we can't go back, is because of healthcare.
We can't go back. That's what he said. So yeah, it's obvious they can't go back. The reason why is because if they went back, they would take their property, they would take their wages, they would garnish their wages. It's the truth. I mean, this is the fucking great system we set up in this country. This is the great system we fucking set up.
The second reason why we left the United States is because tomorrow is no guarantee. Unconventionals, you gotta seize the day, and there is no time like the present. All those cliches, they do mean something. That was our big takeaway from the year that JP spent recovering from his surgery, and we hadn't really changed our lifestyle. We had a lot of time to contemplate, I guess is the right word, about what we really wanted to get out of life. Having JP go through those surgeries and have to learn how to walk again, we re-examined all of our priorities, and we realized that there's a lot of life we wanted to live, and we don't want to wait until maybe JP had another surgery and he was in a wheelchair. Maybe something happened to me. You just never know what could happen.
Yeah.
So that really motivated us.
Dude, there's a shit ton of people who are on the streets now, like I mean, where I live in Sacramento, that are disabled and they're homeless. They can't even get service. The services that the government gives out is not even enough for them to even rent a place. Literally. They can't even rent a place. So how the fuck are they gonna get? Literally. And they're homeless. They're homeless on the street.
To start doing our research and to figure out what it would take to get us out of the old and into the new.
Before I had my surgeries, I was starting to lose feeling in my legs, hands, and feet. And through that whole process, I really felt like I could die. And the doctors told me that I could die in surgery. It was that serious. And it made us really realize that tomorrow is no guarantee. And we just didn't want to spend the rest of our life planning toward...
Do you want to know the fucked up thing about living in this country? My father passed away. And when he passed away, yeah, that's right. So usually these mortuary companies, these mortuaries, you know, cemetery homes, these Christian places, oh, we're the faithful heathens. We believe in Christianity. We believe in God. Oh, you know, they pray and stuff like that. Dude, they prey on people emotionally. Like literally. Like if your father passed away, basically, like mine or if like a mother right in front of your arms, the first place you're going to call is not the Neptune Society because you've never dealt with this before. You're going to call an expensive ass, low ticket rated mortuary center that's going to charge you $8,000 just to cremate a body. When literally it costs what, $1,000, $1,500 basically. The whole service would be like $2,000. They basically took my father. I didn't know where he was going. They took my father all the way to hell and creation and back, literally, when he was dead. His dead body. They can do that in this country. They can literally do that. They can take your loved one away from you, and you have no recourse. You're literally fighting with people over it. You have to choose a mortuary. If you don't, the state will take the body, and then unconsensually, they will donate it to research because you're too poor to pay the mortuary service. So there you go. There you go. It's a vulture capitalist system. That's what America is basically. It's not the land of the free like it's always done to be.
Retirement, and that may never come. So we really started putting the wheels in motion to figure out what it would take to move abroad, and that's what led us to Ecuador. The next reason why we left the United States was because of the high cost of living. Following my surgeries, I wasn't working, so that income was gone.
Yeah.
Amelia took a lower paying job, so we had lost income there, and our expenses were higher because of all the health care costs. We really just couldn't afford to live there anymore. We had to sell our house because we couldn't afford the mortgage payment anymore, and the cost of living was just outpacing our income as it does for a lot of people in the United States. So we started thinking that we could save money by moving to another country where the cost of living is much lower, like Ecuador.
For me, part of the cost of living was being in the rat race. I was working a lot. Cost of living was going up, so food.
Oh my God, girl, same here. Same here. It's like I'm trying to get a web development job. I'm like studying web development. So many places won't even hire Because it's like, oh, you want to do remote work? Well, you don't want to be in the office. And the reason why CEOs do that is because it's a power trip. It's because you're not investing in the economy. You're not investing within their economy. You're investing in another economy. So why would they want to hire you? Literally, that's our new market today.
Rent, etc. But my income was not staying up with the times and with the inflation. And as JP mentioned, I had taken a lower paying job to stay home. I was actually considering taking a new job as a regional sales manager, but then that would have meant I was out traveling again all the time.
Yeah.
And I would really have not have been happy doing that, and I don't think JP would have been happy with me gone all the time either. So it was kind of a no-brainer once we made up our mind that we wanted to live in the moment, seize the day, etc., that we wanted to move somewhere where we could reduce our cost of living and have a better quality.
The journey to becoming a University of Phoenix student is
Whatever.
easier than you might think. There's no application
Ignore this ad. Fuck them.
of life.
Fuck college.
The fourth reason why we left the United States was because of the political and social division. When we were considering our
don't even
move,
get me started
that was
on
in
that one.
2016, and that right during the middle of the presidential election, which really got ugly. And I told Amelia that we either have to get involved or leave. And I even looked into running for office or supporting a candidate who was running for office, and I just decided that is not how I want to spend the last days on this planet, is dealing with politics and all of that nasty stuff. So I just really decided that my choice was to live a quiet, peaceful life somewhere away from all of that.
Unconventionals, I guess I was naive because I just truly did not realize how divided the United States was. It was really just sad to me that there was still so much to be argued over civil rights and gender equality and just equality, period. It was very disheartening.
No, it's true. They just took away a woman's right to choose, Roe v. Wade. They're taking away, like, what, transgender reassignment surgery? Now, I'm not saying for kids. Listen, if you're a kid and they're saying, like, oh, I'm transgender and stuff like that, listen, they don't know what they are, okay? Like, I mean, I could see teenage years, but again, if you're like 5 years of age, yeah, I want to be trans. I want to be a woman. Okay, I want to be Spider-Man. I want to be Superman instead of for Halloween. I want to be Superman all the time, literally. So it's like, you have that aspect. Yeah, but they also took away a woman's right to choose in a lot of states recently. So that's a big fucking drop kicker right there. And yeah, with African Americans in the United States of America, oh my god, the racism is stupid in this country. I mean, if I go just an hour up the road to Nevada County and shit, I'll just assure you, if I go to Roseville, go to like some very white part of Roseville, or I go to Placer County, I go around there, or what is it called, Penn Valley, that city with the incest breeders. That's what I call them. Yeah, I've been called the N-word multiple times, racially harassed. Literally, it's really bad, and we're talking about California. We're talking about a very blue state. I mean, then if you go to the South, I mean, well, you're basically a second-class citizen if you're African American in the South. That's basically the truth.
And disappointing. And when JP told me he really wanted to get involved, of course I was supportive of him, but I was like, oh hell no.
Yeah,
I don't want anything to do with that. It's so stressful. So when he said we need to get involved or leave, I said, okay, let's leave. The fifth and final reason of why we left the United States is because we wanted to take the road less traveled. I've always wanted to live in another country and experience another culture. Plus, I really wanted to learn, and I still want to learn, how to speak Spanish fluently. It is a process. And I do not regret a second of our journey. We have experienced a little bit of culture shock, but it has been totally worth it. And JP, I know you don't like it when I say totally worth it, but I totally meant that. It was a little scary at first, but I knew if we hated it, we could always move back. and now I don't see us ever moving back. We are so much healthier and happier here. I still work for my same company, but I have a lot more flexibility with my job. We started our YouTube channel. I don't know if we would have done that in the United States. I feel like by us taking this new road, this new path in life, we've opened up so many other possibilities. I feel like we're so much more present in our life as well. And I mean, heck, who would have thought I'd be living on the coast of Ecuador and learning how to surf?
Like Amelia said, I also wanted to live abroad and experience a new culture. It's always been something that I...
By the way, I'm sorry to interrupt. It's just I will be putting the link down in the bio description of this video of their channel. Please go check out their channel. Please subscribe to their channel. I absolutely love this older American expat couple right here and what they post. Absolutely love their content. And yeah, like when it comes to me going to France, listen, I already know how bad it is in France. I already know with the Macron government of how it's going right now. And yeah, listen, to me, France, for athletically, it's a pit stop. For me, it's a pit stop because I just want to get my athletic resume. I want to go to the Olympics. I want to go to track meets. I want to get into the Diamond League. That's the only reason why, basically, primarily, I'm going to Europe. I'm not talking about living there. Most likely, if I do live somewhere, like I'll probably meet a European girl, you know, because of course the women in Europe are they're definitely better. Like when it comes to like you could say faithful, you could also say relationship type, marriage type, than America, you could say. But yeah, like I'm definitely looking at Costa Rica. I'm looking at Panama. I'm also looking at... I'm not looking at Ecuador, but... I am looking at Mexico. That was one place I was really looking at. I still am, Mexico, but... I would have to say Costa Rica. I love Costa Rica. I love it. Or Belize, definitely. That's where my dad wanted to go.
I wanted to do in college. My minor was intercultural communication, so I spent a lot of time learning about how to successfully move to another culture. So I've been thinking about this pretty much my entire adult life and really excited to take the road less travel. A lot of people want to do this and make plans for it and research it, but then never pull the trigger.
The reason why they don't pull the trigger is because they're afraid, but also because the backlash that they'll get from home. You see, the United States, like if you're a passport bro, I'm not a passport bro, but if you're a passport bro, or if you're leaving the United States completely or permanently, what they tell you in the United States is, oh, this country's dangerous. Oh my God, the trafficking, the drug trafficking. It's like everything that's literally being, like, everything that's basically just being emphasized, like in the United States, like over-exaggerated in the United States when it comes to other countries. It's really the United States of America. I mean, you could go to Chicago, and guess what? They're closing 4 Walmarts because of all the thefts and stuff like that. There was an interracial couple, a white woman and a black man, I think it was. Like, it was crazy. Like, and a whole black mob just came up and just was punching them and knocked his girlfriend out, and then punched him until he was on the ground. And the police just stood there. The white policeman stood there. The black policeman stood there. They did absolutely nothing. So like I said, if you go to another country, especially Ecuador, especially like, Latin America, dude, it's getting safer. Like, the governments are changing. You have these, like, left-wing socialist governments that are now starting to pop up again in Latin America because, the United States waning global hegemony is shrinking, which is allowing basically these countries to basically be democratic countries again without American influence.
And that's just not me. In fact, I told Amelia I just wanted to move here sight unseen. I told her we don't need to take a trip. I'm confident that we'll be happy there in Ecuador, but she was not so convinced, and and she made us take a trip, which I'm glad we did. We spent 10 days here in Ecuador, and we just loved it. I loved it from the first time we walked out of our hotel. Amelia, it took her a day or two to kind of warm up to it, but now she loves it too. And it's definitely an experience. Like she said, we've had some culture shock, and that's to be expected. It's a lot different than the United States, but it has been a fun experience, a really educational experience. And while we still have a long ways to go, we are learning Spanish, which was also on my list. And we're just really happy to be here and happy to have taken the road less traveled.
I don't know, cost of living, like if you want to talk about cost of living basically, like what they just previously mentioned, dude, I mean, you could work Apple customer service like chat, making 22 or 23 bucks an hour basically. Yeah, it's full time. You're typing your little heart away, but I mean, if you live in a country like that, dude, the Ecuador rents, it's like what, 300 bucks? I couldn't believe this. There's this one dude, I'll be making another video on reacting to cost of living, America versus the rest of the world. But this guy, he literally was renting out like this whole fucking villa for like 700 what? Like, it's stupid. I don't know the peso currency I don't know that, but it was like 700 something, probably at most like $800 US dollars a month. Like that was it, and he had a fucking castle. Like he had a villa. Like, are you serious? Like you can rent all of this? I mean, if can you imagine something like that in the United States of America? Like for buying, like it'd be like 20 or $30 million to buy that in the United States. It's just it was stupid. But that's what I'm talking about when it comes to the cost of living crisis. You know, to the cost of living crisis basically, and it's not going to get better. Like it's definitely not going to get better as time goes on. So yeah, definitely learn a second language. Definitely get your passport, because I'm telling you, look, there's greener pastures abroad.